Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined today by Joe Gatti, a dermatology physician's assistant at Defying Dermatology. Joe, thanks for being here today. How are you today?
Very good.
All right, so of course it's Memorial Day and the beginning of summer. It's kind of kickoff, if you will. It's also the last couple days of May, and May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Why is right now a good time for people to be aware of this sort of thing?
It's a great question. As we kind of move out of the colder months and we move out of spring, we get back into the heat of things. We want everyone to kind of be aware as they go back into the sun that your body is going to not be as tan as it used to be, and that you're going to be a little bit more susceptible to sun. So we really want to make it on people's minds that, you know, before you go out in the sun, we got to mitigate some of those risk factors and really make sure that you're paying close attention to protection.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so Defying Dermatology, I think obviously I know where you're going with this, but tell us a little bit about the company and what you guys do there.
So we have a two-part mission. The first part is that first and foremost, we're a medical clinical dermatology practice. So rashes, skin cancers, those kinds of things, we really like to focus and hone in on that. We're all about keeping our patients safe. Then the owner of the practice, Dr. Rick Noodleman, who's moved up and bought the practice from the Bay Area, is an amazing cosmetic dermatologist. So his passion is on cosmetic dermatology. He's all about getting you to be happy inside and outside.
Okay, very good. So we're talking a lot about skin cancers, obviously, and as you kind of mentioned, how common are skin cancers in the general population?
So unfortunately, as humans have begun to age more and more, you know, the average life expectancy in the United States is about 79 now for men and females. It has prompted a large rise in the risk and rate of skin cancer, because as we age, that means that every drop of sun you've ever had continues to add up. It doesn't go away. So that sun damage over time multiplies. Think of your skin cells as copies of copies of copies of copies, and over time that damage becomes more severe. So it's a rate that's exploding in the population. So we really want to make sure that people who have suspicious lesions get those checked, because we want to keep people as safe as possible.
Okay, and it is, with many diseases, we see that they're hereditary. Is skin cancer hereditary?
So there are three main types of skin cancer. Basal cell carcinoma is the most common but least dangerous. Then we have melanoma, which is most dangerous but least common, and then squamous cell, which is in the middle. Melanoma, unfortunately, does have a really strong hereditary risk factor when you have a first-degree family member who has it. So mother, father, brother, or sister. We really want to pay close attention to those patients.
Very interesting. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Joe Gatti from Defying Dermatology. So what sort of factors, we've obviously been talking about sun and how that's bad for the skin, but what else perhaps affects your risk of skin cancer?
So hereditary for melanoma plays another part to play. Sun is a really big one, particularly for the non-melanoma skin cancers such as basal cell and squamous cell. So we really want to see people doing things like staying a little bit out of the sun during the heat of the day, about 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, minimize those in the brightest part of the day. And then obviously sunscreen is a huge part to play. We want to see people use SPF 30 or above, and the official recommendation is every 60 to 90 minutes. And a lot of patients don't realize that. They think, oh, I put on my sunscreen and it's good all day long. And that's unfortunately not the case. And in fact, the FDA limits manufacturers from advertising that. No one is approved beyond 90 minutes. So it's really important to not just put it on once, but to know that you got to keep putting it on.
And I found out the hard way once that it does expire.
It does expire.
I was on the lower rogue and found out very much the hard way. So what do you recommend people do before maybe they come to the clinic and get some sort of assistance that's necessary? What can they do to detect themselves at home? Is there anything they can do to check on themselves?
So we use a mnemonic for the patient level and primary care level called the ABCDEs, particularly for melanoma. So A is asymmetry. So if you cut both sides, if you cut the lesion in half, do both sides look the same, or does one kind of not match the other? Borders, is it like a black to white? Is it a very stark border, or does it kind of bleed out into the surrounding tissue? Color, is it one color, or does it vary? Diameter, is it larger than a pencil eraser? And E is evolution. Has it been changing over time? Like last week you have a spot on your nose and it's quadrupled in size. That's probably a bad thing.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, well, very good. I know, obviously, as I mentioned, it's Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and people are getting outside to enjoy the summer now that Memorial Day. Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.